All right, we're back a week later. I did not think I was going to get any integration because of my work schedule being a nightmare, but my wife helped me out and I ended up getting 18 hours of integration. So awesome. Yeah, I just set up and kind of got everything ready to go, and she went out and, checked the focus and checked the guiding and made sure I was on target and everything. So she did all the actual capturing after I set up. So and she was a rock star. Everything came out great. So some thoughts on the 100 to 400 IS2. It's not going to replace a 400 millimeter telescope. There are some things you need to worry about. Mainly the aperture. Wide open, it has coma. The bright stars had, the wings sticking out on the edge. So I stopped it down one stop, or I don't know if that's a half stop, quarter stop. I'm not a photography guru, but I closed it up to f6.3, and that shaped up the stars. Everything looked great, but the aperture blades made that, like cartoony star spikes around the brighter stars. The zoom is completely smooth. There are no hard stops. There are no notches. There's a little scale here, but that's not, super accurate. So what you'll want to do is set it to where you want it, lock the clutch in, do all your capturing, and don't touch it. Because if you change this and then try to get it back there, it's not going to be perfect, and you'll have to deal with that in post. But anyways, so yeah, the zoom is something to be mindful of. The clutch was good. I did not notice any movement. I had it all the way out at 400 millimeters and then had it pointing up and set my LCD screen on top of it and shot my flats, and it did not move. So zoom is pretty solid. The clutch is pretty solid on this thing. So the aperture and the being mindful of where the zoom is set, those were the only... Okay, there was one other thing. I just had it mounted by the shoe on my dovetail plate, and there was considerable vibration in there, so my stars were kind of elongated along the right ascension axis, because that was as it was tracking, there was just a slight vibration. And this thing is not the tightest thing in the world either. I need to maybe figure out if I can tighten this up a little bit more. But if I'm going to do more shooting with this, I'm going to have to make brackets, and mount it securely to the dovetail, because this thing does not give it enough of a support to do astrophotography with. So yeah, other than those three things, it looked great. The data is all downstairs cooking in PixInsight currently. So I will meet you down at the computer and we'll go over a quick process and see what we can get out of it. I'm pretty hopeful. We'll see you down there. All right, we're back downstairs at the computer. I've done a couple of things already. The integration looks good. I'll show you what I've done so far. Oh, I made a star mask, or just a range mask to mask off all the bright stuff. And the stars, you can see, are a little bit elongated. I used the motion blur deconvolution here to shape them up a little bit, and then I used morphological transform to just kind of make them not so overpowering. So you can see here, before morphological transform, that's a mouthful. Before morphological transform, it's just a wash with stars, and then you hit it with a touch of that, and then it really knocks them down. Now what I'm going to do is do a range mask to stretch the dust a little bit. Mask generation, range mask. So I just want to bring the dust up. So we'll do this and select the dust, and we don't want to grab any of the really bright stuff. All we want to do is bring up the dust. So we'll knock that down for the stars, give it a little bit of smoothness so it's not so crazy, or so it's not, doesn't have hard edges. And we will call that the dust mask. Boy, that's still got some banding in there. Stupid Canons. I was hoping my darks would get rid of that, but they didn't. Okay, so we will apply that mask to our dust, and we will do a curves transformation on that, just to bring the dust up a little bit. That does not look good. Maybe not quite so much. Yeah, just a touch of it like that. We'll call that good, and then we will do, well, then we'll disable that mask, and I shouldn't have closed this. Do just a general curves transformation for contrast. You know, let's put the star mask on there. Where did the star mask go? This is it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, so we'll put the star mask on there, or the bright area mask, and we'll just invert it to protect the stars. Now we'll do a curves transformation to give us a little more contrast here without blowing up the stars. Give it an S curve there. That's looking better. Looking better. Not too bad. Ghost Nebula looks pretty cool there. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and monkey around with this a little bit, but here's the what I was talking about with the diffraction spikes on the aperture blade. You know, it kind of makes a big mess of the stars, and like the star shape is not great, but you know, it's such a wide field that when you're zoomed out, man, that's a bad band right there. I'm gonna have to start from scratch and try to bring that up properly. But anyways, I'm gonna work on this image, and I'll get back with you about the finished product. And I've got some stacking artifacts here. I'm gonna have to crop this, and I'll just do some work on this, and it's gonna be a long, painful process, so I'm not gonna make you watch that because I'm not an expert, but hopefully I can get something decent out of this. I will check back in when I'm done. Alright, so after some work on that image, well, I will call this finished. It really picked up the dust out there. And, you know, I'm in a Bortle 6. It's not exactly a dark sky site. But yeah, that looks good. Now, this is a little bit of cloudy in the corners. I don't know if that's actually what's there, or if that's, you know, bad flats. So, I mean, there's definitely some more room for testing. And, you know, when you really zoom in, the stars don't look that great. But they are subdued, and that lets you see all the dust, so that's nice. So more room for improvement, more room for testing, but this is definitely usable. That's not a bad image at all. So we will call this a win for the 100 to 400. That Ghost Nebula just looks cool right there. That is cool. I forgot that was there. I'm glad I picked it up. But yeah, a definite win for the 100 to 400. This is a good looking image. I'm happy with this, and we're going to do more testing with it. Maybe not today, but pretty soon. Say goodbye, Violet.
Bye.
Clear skies. Say clear skies. Say it. Say clear skies. What are you eating?
Carrot.
Carrots? Okay.